Digitization is the new world, and to support digitization, cloud is acting as a backbone. Every application being developed nowadays is using cloud as an infrastructure. But what about the existing application and the infrastructure where there is a need to migrate the things over the cloud, but they are not doing so? So we have listed out some of the challenges which an existing application and infrastructure team is facing, which is stopping them to migrate. So we have listed out few of the challenges which is being faced by our team. So the first challenge is the onerous process. So the migration itself is an onerous process. So let's take an example. If I tell you that you have an Android phone and you want to switch to an iOS phone, what will you do? So it will involve a lot of tasks, right from data migration to application migration, and again, there are a number of activities. So that pain is 10%. If we talk about an infrastructure migration where you have a local server placed at your company premises and you want to migrate all the data, applications, everything to over the cloud, then it involves a lot of activities. The second challenge is nobody wants to jeopardize their current workflows. So if some application is running and if you're not looking for much performance and other things, we ignore that we should migrate over the cloud. Everybody is happy until and unless there is some major breakdown. Another thing is the technical complexity. So there are n number of vendors out in the market. If we talk about Amazon, if we talk about Azure, if we talk about any drives, Google Drive, OneDrive. So there are n number of vendors out there, and again, each vendor has n number of services. Amazon itself has 1500 services. So how do we came to know that which service needs to be implemented or used in order to do a migration? So it requires a lot of technical complexity and understanding while doing the migration. Another point is data loss and integrity. Even if we somehow manages to do a successful migration, we are not pretty much sure that the things which we have in our local server is successfully migrated over the cloud. We don't have any reporting, we don't have any accuracy or integrity check over there. So that is another challenge. Another challenge is the higher cost. If we look for any consultant or any third-party services or vendors, they cost us very high, and that is another challenge. So we will overcome all those challenges, and apart from those challenges, we are the cloud agnostic people, so we know how to do the migration, and we are capable of doing migration from local file server that is available on premises, data center storage, any branded storage or an open source storage like NAS, FreeNAS, or any filer, and from cloud to the cloud. So we have all the combinations where we are able to do the migration. And apart from that, we will be doing the migration seamlessly, more accurately, and in the most fast manner possible. Okay, here are some of the key features about the migration tool. The first and very important feature is the user role and migration. So if we talk about the user role and migration, user role and permission, so what if a folder is having some roles and permission, right? And if I migrate that folder over a cloud, I want that roles and permission to be intact. So our application will keep that roles intact. The second is multi-user and parallel migration. So suppose I am migrating a file server, and my file server has thousands of users. So it won't be like every user's data would be migrated. we have a capability to create a batch and do a batch transfer over the cloud. Then the metadata migration. This is another cool feature which our application is providing. So suppose a file is having a timestamp when it was modified, all the version details and various metadata details. So we are making sure that all those metadata are kept intact when we're migrating over the cloud. We are providing a one-click migration as well. Suppose a user has an application which is running on a local server, and he has a potential where he needs performance and scalability, but he is not aware about the cloud services. He doesn't carry any cloud account. So what he will do? He will just come to us. We'll provide a one-click migration where the account would be created for him on the cloud, and he can easily do the migration of his local application and the server over the cloud. Zero installation is another feature where we are not asking our end user to install any of the software at his local server, so that it will help in doing the migration over the cloud. No downtime. So that is, it will keep your business intact, your application will still be running, and there won't be any cutoff time. We will directly mirror the application and server onto the cloud, and once it's up and ready, you can switch from your local premises server to the cloud. So these are our helping hands when we talk about technology which help us in building this cloud migration application. So the first and the very major thing is the PowerShell. So this PowerShell helps us to read the core information from our local file server and help us to evaluate the destination server and create some permission roles over there as well. We are using AWS, a PowerShell toolkit and APIs for communicating with AWS and creating machines on the fly. Similarly, we are using OneDrive and Google Drive APIs. The core service libraries are developed on the .NET, and the front end is built using HTML, JS, and the flat icons. So thank you. We'll quickly go over the demo now. So this is our application cloud migration, where we have tried to include a wizard which will help the end user to do migration in the simplest steps possible. So this is the place where we are expecting the source server information from the end user. So if you see, the file server tab is selected, and we are asking about the machine details. So what we will be sending out: username, password of that machine, or the IP address, and the source data where all its data is residing. So once we click next, we would be landed over a page where we have an option where user can migrate to either AWS storage, OneDrive storage, that is Microsoft storage, to any other cloud storage, or if he doesn't have any knowledge about the cloud, then this is the place where we are providing one-click migration. Okay, so we'll go with the AWS storage migration. So once the user enters all the details, like the bucket where he wants to upload the data, and what is the target folder inside the bucket where he wants to push all the data from the local server, we just need to click next. So before doing the migration, let's quickly go through the bucket details where we are going to upload the data. So this is the bucket. It has this folder archive. It doesn't contain any of the data right now. Similarly, if we look for an instance, there is no instance running right now. Everything is stopped. So we are expecting once the migration gets completed, the data should be pushed to the bucket, and one instance of that server which we are migrating should be created over here. Coming back to application, you click on next, and this page will give you a summary of what you're doing, what is your source details, what are your destination details, where you will be migrating your data and the application and the server. We have one more feature where we can send the WhatsApp notification. So suppose it's a file server and it has 100 of users. So what we're trying to achieve here is we will fetch the contact details of all the users from the Active Directory, and we will be sending out the notification to each user that the migration activity of the server is going to begin, and whatever the admin user needs to provide the message over here. So once he clicks the send message, every user will get a WhatsApp notification. Okay, then clicking on next, it would be a single button where we will just click on the begin migration, and it will transfer the whole server machine to the cloud. It will create a server machine over the cloud. So clicking on the begin migration. So once this migration process gets started, it is divided into 5 steps. So what the first step is, we will be evaluating the source data, the source server from where we need to pull the data, and then we will create an EC2 instance over the AWS account. Then we will do a data migration to the destination. Then we will have the integrity. We will verify for the data. So, for example, if a file is of 1 KB and it contains some data, if there is a full stop change as well, we will be able to detect that the migration was not smooth and successful. So we'll report an error over there. So verification of data integrity check, so that no loss of data is there, is evaluated. And then at the last, we will initialize all the apps and services on the cloud server machine which is created. So the machine is about to create it on the cloud, and what we are expecting here is the IP address and the password of the machine would get displayed to the end user, where he can quickly copy this and do a remote connection of this, and all his data and applications would get migrated. So as you see, the IP is 54.242.165.3, and the password for that machine is this. So I'm going to my AWS account, and I see one machine instance is running, which has been created on the fly. And if we check the details of this machine, see, it is the IP which is created, 54.242.6.165 and 3. So we can similarly, if we look at our bucket where the data has been pushed, just doing a refresh here. See, so we have created 4 users, and all those 4 user data has been pushed to this bucket. Let's quickly do an MSTSC of this machine. I'm copying this MSTSC. Data and the password I can copy from here. So this is the Windows server which is created, and we are accessing it. We are expecting that a C drive should have all those user 1, 2, 3, 4 data, because we have migrated a file server. And again, on the application point of view, we have migrated a Chrome application, and on the Chrome application, we are trying to interact the bookmarks which a user carries on the local server. So if you see, the Chrome is here by default installed, and if you go to C drive, You will see the data folder. It will contain the data for all the 4 users. Here is some data, dummy data, which we migrated. And if you open this Google Chrome as well, this is the first time it's running. That's why we get a welcome wizard here. But we are expecting that the bookmark should restore. So click on next. If I go to bookmarks, you will see that I have this bookmark: home, InfoBeans, Twitter, and Facebook. So that is it from the demo. Thanks for watching this. So we have one more thing left. So once we go to the migration is completed, we have the reports also in place. This is where we will be seeing reports of what is being migrated and what is the status of it. So this is the source destination, this is the destination path, and the status. Thanks once again.